This is informativetraders.com. Today we'll be looking at a weekly outlook commencing the 14th of January 2013 for the major Forex pairs. We'll look at the cross US dollar pairs, the Aussie, the Euro, the Pound and the Swiss. We're going to analyse the daily and weekly charts. This is the Aussie US dollar daily. I've already drawn in these black lines. Indicates we've got a trading range happening in the Aussie at the moment. Since probably mid-2012. As you can see, we've had rejections on this upper line up at the 106 level, and also the bottom of the range we've had rejections around the 101, 102 area. So we've been moving between those two levels, bouncing back and forth. We've come up each time, hit it, rejected. Slowly moved up again, hit it, rejected, moved up. One thing I have noticed though, since September, we are making higher lows. So at the moment we are looking to push higher, but until we break out of this range, you would have to think that we are going to still bounce around until we see something different. Now, we had this rejection last week, this 2-bar rejection up here, which indicates we will see a sell-off this week. I've drawn in this trend line up here. I would love to see this come down to this level here and see some sort of price action reversal. And I'll be looking to get long if that happened. I'll be looking for a breakout of this channel. We do have a level. We do have a level through here. The price has bounced off it several times. So this is a possible area here where we could see a reversal. So that's what I'm looking for this week. I'll check the weekly now. Okay, so this is the Aussie US weekly. As you can see, we just discussed this sideways consolidation. You can see that now in the larger time frame. We're also in a triangle formation. You can see these highs up here and the lows up here. They're formed by these highs. We can see that it's rejected each time we've hit this upper trend line. We've had the two down here. Now this is just something to be careful with looking for longs here. A lot of these triangle patterns don't sort of break until they get further into the pattern, which means this may possibly come down and either sort of break here or break through here. Somewhere 3/4 into the pattern, they say usually. That doesn't always happen, but that's just something to be careful of. If we did see this reject this week and start to move down and break that trend line I've got through here, one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of space in here. There's a lot of space, so over the coming weeks, if it was to fall, this could fall very quickly down here. That's one thing I'm monitoring as well. So as I said in the daily, we've just got to see if we do get that pullback and what happens. Does it break through, or do we see a reversal and it keeps continuing dollar daily? Since about July 2012, looks like we have been moving up after this reversal of this large downtrend. I've put in a trend line. We have seen rejections of that area. This trend line up through here. I've also noticed we've got, I think, an area through here that's played an importance recently. As you can see, we've had flips of it over the last 12 months. So it's been an area that's played importance. Now, I have noticed just in the last couple of weeks, this area here, we broke through that area I was talking about and we consolidated sideways. Looked like a good sign. Then we've fallen back down, and I think this may have been a bit of a trap move. The people that got short as it's fallen back through have now had to cover, and in the last 2 days last week we have seen a good move upwards. And the interesting thing was, in the last 2 days last week, they've shot the price up very quickly. It looks like they've taken all this buying and selling area here as consolidation. They've just gone sliced straight through it. It's actually closed above it. That to me is a pretty positive sign. It looks like, I'd say, major players have got in and shot this price up, and they didn't want any resistance from this consolidation area to the left of it, so they've marked the price up straight through it. So to me, that suggests that we might see either some consolidation this week and a move higher, or this may even just shoot up from Monday next week. I'm going to look at it anyway. So I'll be looking for some pullbacks with some price action to get long. We do have this larger area over here of buying and selling. Would have been a lot of orders in there, so we may see a little bit of that come into play over the next few weeks. But seeing them mark that price up so quickly there in the last 2 days, to me, looks pretty positive. Let's have a look at the weekly. Okay, this is the weekly of the Euro US. You can see that we are in a downward slanting channel created by those rejection turning points in the market. Now we put a line across down here, we haven't quite reached that line, so we have made, looking at the weekly, we have made that higher low at this stage. Now I would really love this level to be taken out before I get real excited, but you can see that as we discussed in the daily, there was that big reversal last week. Might have caught or trapped a lot of traders. Now, if we are to move up higher here, maybe we are looking somewhere around that 1.4 level. Price might be attracted to that level. We do see a lot of space in here. So if it is to break higher here, there's no real immediate areas. Remember, this is a weekly, no immediate areas that may resist price moving up to that 1.4 level. As I said, we're going to have to keep an eye on the daily and just see if we get a pullback. I think it is still positive, and this will be the target up here, and then obviously we may see reversal off that. But I'll be looking to see early next week if we can get some sort of entry into this long. Okay, this is the Great Britain Pound US Dollar Daily. Over the last 12 months, we've been trading in a range from the $1.53 level up to the $1.63 level. And just recently, as early as last week, we had a big pin bar reversal off that 163 level, and we moved back down. One thing I noticed though is this time, as we've come up to this top level and rejected off, we may have seen some support around this $1.58 level. You know, we didn't see that step down back down to the bottom level. We've actually remained up, and we've actually had two cracks at trying to break through, and now we've reversed back down. Looking at the weekly, I think my bias on this currency is we may be moving higher, and I'll be looking for price action signals for that to go higher. I think if we do have another go at it, I've got a feeling that this might be marked up very quickly. You might see a large range bar that moves up very quickly and just slices straight through all this resistance at this level up here. I think the big institutions might get in here and push this up very fast and mark it up. So if there was anyone short at these levels, they're going to have to cover, and you'll see those buy trades come in, and this will take off very quickly. That's what I'm looking for next week. If we look at the weekly, Okay, this is the weekly chart of the Great Britain pound. Now, I do see a bit of a pattern setting up. We've got an area here where we've had price obviously reject off, and then we've got a trend line up through the bottom here where we've had price reject off as well. So we've made that triangle pattern now. Historically, these patterns will break out higher here. So once we do break these resistance levels, it'll normally run. Now the other thing I like is when we had this big sell-off here, these are the nearest lows in this area. Now if we draw a line across here, look at all the space in here. If this was to break through, say here, there is nothing over here, no levels of support and resistance. They're going to play or inhibit this price moving higher, and you could see this pair take off. I do believe they're accumulating down here, buying on these dips lower, and I do think once this breaks, it is going to take off pretty nicely. So at this stage, longer term, I'm looking for longs. I'll be watching the daily to see if we get those signals to go long. We've obviously got to remember that we are in this sideways area at the moment, so I want to see that break out of that. But if we do, this could look promising for a longer term long. Okay, this is the US Swiss daily chart. Now I've got some lines drawn in here, which you will see better on the weekly. It's an upward slanting channel, and we have broken through that, and we've had numerous attempts to crack back through it, and we've rejected each time. So we are obviously in a downtrend at the moment. Now I think there may be a channel playing out along here somewhere through here. So I think we do have some more downside to the bottom of this trend channel. Eventually these down channels do eventually break up. Most of them do break higher, but I think we've got a lot more downside in this. And looking at the other pairs, the Aussie, the pound, and the euro all look like they may be moving higher next week. So, you know, the US is probably going down. We've seen last week a big rejection here. So time will tell. If we look at the weekly, okay, this is the weekly of the US dollar, and you can see that trend channel that I drew in, it did have a couple of cracks at trying to break it and it couldn't, so we've moved back down. Now I think this area here is going to be vital for this pair. We put a line across here. Up until now we had this big reversal bar here on the weekly. We've moved up and we were making higher highs and higher lows, and now we've broken through this. This is going to be an area here where we need to see support in this pair, and if we don't, if we see it break through here, I think it will continue and we'll come down into this sort of area down here, and we may test all the buying that was down in this area. So it's going to be a big level there. What happens here? Do we see a reversal? Do we see it come down and kick higher again, or does it break through? So I'm very wary of this pair. I'm going to watch it over the next couple of weeks. You know, the last 2 weeks, that's pretty much a 2-bar reversal off this consolidation area there. So we're going sideways here. We've pushed back up to it and we've reversed off it. So to me, that looks quite bearish there, and I'll see what happens down in this area. Longer term, it may be coming down, even a double bounce, or it may just come down and test some of this buying down in this area. The they're the four majors for next week. I've had a quick look at them at the daily and weeklies. We'll see how it all plays out. Remember, you can't predict where price is going to go, but you can watch for signals. You can watch for price action signals and then make your trade on those. Cheers, guys.